Alright guys, how's it going? My name's Ray Benefield. I am participating in the Product Hunt Global Hackathon. My project for this month is going to be building a Pomodoro-based time tracking application. I know that there's a lot out there right now, from a toggle extension to things like focus list, and there's a bunch of little Mac applications for tracking Pomodoros. But something that I think is really needed, something that I've learned that I needed as a software engineer when using Pomodoros, is I love the concept of finishing a Pomodoro and then tracking what happened in that Pomodoro with a work log, and having this transparent work log through this entire session of me building an app. And I think that's an extremely powerful concept to have, especially if you work in a team. People can see what you've been up to, what you've been working on, especially if you're working with like product owners or project managers, or you have a client. They can see exactly what kind of work you've been doing on the side to build up this product from step to step to step. And I think that's very powerful. Another thing is that when in software engineering, there's a lot of very heavy problems that can't just be solved in exactly 25 minutes. So being able to track how many 25-minute intervals happen, as well as how much overtime is happening, and being able to do analytics on that, I think will be a very powerful concept. In addition, I want to be able to take the work done in a session and allocate it to, this is for this client, this is for this project, this is for this entity of this project, and being able to organize my work log and then get an aggregation of what all work did I did today, who did I focus on as a client, what projects did I focus on, and then being able to aggregate those logs in various ways. I've been manually tracking over the past, I'd say for the past 6 months maybe, I've been working in this Pomodoro technique in a way that includes work logs, and I've been tracking them manually. I have little bash scripts that will open up a to-do list, that will open up the work log and then save the work log entry and commit it to Git and then push it up. But ultimately, I want a centralized platform to where I can start a session on my computer, it gets loaded into a database, and then I can load it up on my mobile phone. I can start it from my mobile phone. I can be told when a break is done, things like that. I think that cross-platform support will be very powerful, as well as like webhook integrations to where I can automatically sync up with Todoist, or I can publish things to Trello, or track things on a per client basis and send to Slack channels as updates. I think it'll be ultimately extremely powerful to have a more tailored Pomodoro technique that's based more on project management, and actually doing freelance development is what I like to do. As a solo developer who does the entire stack from front to back to DevOps to design, all of that sorts, I think it would be very powerful to have this project tracking system. And essentially my goal is to replace Scrum and Kanban for a freelance developer. I think it's very powerful for a solo person to have this transparency in their work, because they will still have clients even if they're working by themselves, and that's how they get paid, and there still needs to be a level of interaction. But I think Scrum and Kanban and the normal practices in teams right now have so much fluff around communication and syncing up. I've spent so much time in stand-ups and retrospectives and planning meetings and grooming meetings. It's obnoxious, and for developers it's more efficient for them to not be in meetings. And so by having built-in transparency into their workflow, I think will be very powerful for developers and enable them to do more while not cutting off business, product, and project from the work that they're doing, and understanding what's getting done and what's not getting done from a higher perspective. So I think this will be very powerful. Even though there's a lot of apps out there right now, I think for the most part this app will actually move things forward and speed up development. I honestly believe that a single Pomodoro session, 25 minutes, is more valuable than the work that most developers do in an hour. And if a developer can switch to a 25-minute session, they will provide more value. And ultimately, they can switch to doing 8 Pomodoros a day instead of 8 hours a day, and could be paid on a Pomodoro session, since Pomodoros are based on focused work that's actually getting done and actually being tracked in this kind of system, doing work logs. So I think ultimately it would be very powerful to have something like this on the market. I envision something powerful for all freelancers, where freelancers can charge by the Pomodoro and clients can request work being done by a Pomodoro and get rates based on Pomodoros and have work log transparency across all their projects. So ultimately, I look forward to the kind of value that this can add for developers. There probably won't be very many developers who will latch on to this sort of philosophy, but the few that do, I think this will be valuable. I know that this is something that I've been needing over the past 6 months, and at the very least, I'm building this product for people like myself who need to track things in the way that I do. I will also continue building all projects that I can build in public. I plan to build in public, and I plan to build on video in Pomodoro sessions, so this will help me track those too. And I honestly think that this will enhance my ability to create those videos and enhance my ability to track those projects and bounce between projects really quickly. So that's kind of my vision. Even though there's a lot out there, I think there's still something that needs to be met specifically for software engineers and for this whole client business interaction. So hopefully I'm right. I mean, if anything, it's a fun little project being built in Firebase, and it's giving me a lot of experience, and the whole concept of the Product Hunt Global Hackathon and having deliverables throughout the process and having just a month to build it really encourages me to move forward and put that motivation in. So I'm excited. Hopefully things work out. I'm looking forward to what's to come. And I hope you guys can see the same kind of value eventually. And I hope people are watching. I think it'd be fun to get some feedback in the future. I know this probably won't meet very many people, but who knows? I could be wrong. It'll help me at least. So take it easy for now. I got to get into the last session of my first deep block for Dex.